I said Ben Franklin knows who the fuck I am, bitch.
Who you calling a bitch, though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
Podcast channels have been becoming more and more toxic through recent memory. Hi, I'm Siah G, and I bring weekly commentary content to all of you. Today, we will discuss the toxic reality of podcasts. Podcasting is something that I feel is and will eventually take over YouTube. Originally, podcasts were something that people had access to only audibly, but with technology growing and developing, it sparked a digital boom in every way imaginable. Books are digital, manga's digital, even sex is going digital.
And farts, got that dookie home.
One thing that really took advantage of this trend was podcasting. And with new platforms hitting the market one by one, they're very accessible by just about everyone that has internet access. The current problem I personally have is that I feel podcasts have bred a new form of toxicity. They're less about discussion and more so about flexing. But when you show how massive your nuts are, it's often met with a 50-50 split. Half the people who know about it hate it, and the other half thinks you're Jesus. Subscribe to Siah G, my child. With the influence that podcasts carry to a mass audience in 2023, it goes to show how easy it is to manipulate a mass audience. And I also feel that podcasts now exploit women. And I won't say this is for every podcast in existence. I think Joe Rogan and Logan Paul both hold great podcasts. But with that being said, any of you who are watching this video, keep your eyes peeled on what's going on in these podcasts. And importantly, stay true to who you are. And don't let some bald guy that wears sunglasses indoors change the way your mind operates. Sadly, despite that brief warning, people will still go and swing off the meat of any man that dehumanizes women. Now anyways, I'm gonna say this. This video is meant for educational purposes. Like the crew from the Unfilterd Podcast, which is a fresh and fit copycat that is a bit more, well, unfiltered. I'll be honest when I say I've never heard of this podcast team before. I only heard of them because of recent controversy that this podcast was involved in. In this podcast, the two hosts ask a group of women to rate them, which is already an ego boost fish for compliment type question.
All right, so now what I want you to do is, ladies, real quick.
And this man proceeds to become the coolest dude in the room by telling the women not to waste his time.
Don't fucking waste my time. Rate the guys. Do me a favor, Josh. Stand up real quick, man.
After commanding the women to rate the three men in the room, he proceeds to continue to be rude to each one of them and rush them to rate the other men in the room. This could leave anyone uncomfortable. And could it be the reason why he proceeded to receive this rating from a woman?
All right. What about you over there? Go.
2.
You sound like a stupid.
A 2? Oh, no. A 2? After he just treated them with kindness and respect, this man is a 10.
I'm trying to figure out why you rated me a 2, because we're not going off our interactions. We're going off beauty.
Look at his haircut, dog. No fade with a high top, just pure bald on the side of his head. Pure skin.
Yo, speaking to the fucking mic.
I would rate you.
First you're rating me, and then him, and then him. Go.
I'll rate you a 7.
All right.
8.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet that the other women rated him a 7 or above because they were scared of what he would say. After this clip, he proceeded to kick her out of the podcast. Her preference was that she doesn't like light skins.
I don't like light skins.
I don't give a Do me a favor. Get the fuck up and get the fuck out.
Thank you.
Yeah, get out.
What the new trend is in podcasting is gathering a handful of attractive women, most who do content creation, and asking for their opinion or what they do for a living, knowing damn well what they already do. The men running the podcast normally proceed to dehumanize these women because they took the easy way out into making money. The bigger problem is the world is bothered by the wrong things. Women only make money on fans because men are willing to pay for their content. Are you mad at women for exploiting the perversion of men? Well, sir, why are you a pervert? In an odd way, I can see why that would take value away from a woman. Personally, as a man, I want my women to be sexually exclusive to me, but that's just my preference, and I won't go around projecting that preference on any person that sees me. Some people aren't built for an education, and if you believe that women should be in corporate jobs, then hey, pay them more and give them better resources to get there. But this isn't a video meant to be white knighting.
It is very gorgeous to me.
Because women know what they're doing when they do content creation. They know what the male audience looks for and what they like to see. I'm a man. I like women, and if I see some ass, I'm probably gonna look. And in a world filled with virginity and easy access to the internet, I'm putting my wiener on the internet too. I'll say, I like buying things like clothes, so wearing fresh fits would be crucial, but you'll never get fresh and fit working a low-paying job or eating at fast food, which Fresh and Fit is a recently booming podcast that is notorious right now for having Nico, Masculine Mr. Clean, or many other notable people starring in their podcasts. The episodes, to no surprise, are normally structured around a bunch of beautiful women that mostly do content creation. But because of this podcast, we were able to watch some of the most interesting yet arising problems of recent times.
It's like you guys think I'm kidding around when I say this. When we first started this podcast and girls would act crazy and we told them to get out, they'd be acting all wild, like, I'm not leaving, blah, blah, blah. When you have a chick here, bro, they start complying.
Ice is ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, you want to know something crazy? Turns out, Eric actually used to work at Fresh and Fit, but ended up leaving on his own. Eric is the host, whose barber did him a disservice in the first clip we watched. The thing was, he was speculated to have gotten fired, likely due to his hard-headed and insecure personality. And while he was a bad host, I personally think that Sniper Panda is a podcast host that I think holds good podcasts. He's a more middleman and doesn't really do any attacking. He just sets up everything, so fair props to him for that. All of his podcasting is great until this kid shows up, Ton Evan, which I think he's absolutely hilarious. And he's a kid that often represents a certain message, but the motive behind his trolling is solely due to him not agreeing with how people tend to worship celebrities. But he also does a fair bit of attacking on content creation models. And while I say he performs a high level of trolling, he too is often seen attacking content creating women. And while he may or may not mean it, it is building an audience, kind of like how Sneeko and Masculine Mr. Clean have recently built their reputations. Though, I think more often than not, the media only takes snippets and paints them to be a little bit worse than what they are. However, they still said things that everyone would disagree with. Fortunately for them, they already had a platform before podcasting, but there's been a big spark in anti-women rhetoric. Ethan Klein is also known to lie and hate on fellow YouTubers behind the scenes. Yet, this man still surprisingly has a platform. I will say, when I was younger, I thought his content was absolutely hilarious. I thought it was good and I thought he presented it well. And even now, I still think that his content off the channel that I enjoyed, H3H3 Productions, are still good. He was here to take over YouTube and smack all the big content creators on the hand by nuking their content. And I personally think once he made his bag, he just got lazy. And as a result, it doesn't hit the same anymore. A lot of his fan base began to notice that his ego eventually got the best of him. And now he gets into weird beefs, like with the Liver King, and gets called out by multiple other YouTubers. Now, all I really hear about is him when he's in beef with Keemstar. And while he had a questionable past, he is someone that I think is a cool guy behind cameras. But the I know a guy research that he does often just doesn't seem to work much. And now he's labeled hypocritical for his content. What's unfortunate about this toxic culture is that it's entertaining. It's a massive who has the biggest penis contest. And I hate to admit that it's sickeningly entertaining. I hate that I've grown to be fascinated by these types of podcasts. Drama is interesting, but the one thing I don't do is change my lifestyle to be like these podcasts. I'm not fascinated by women being dehumanized. I'm more fascinated by how they're going to react. And it's human to feel that way. And there's a reason why these videos and podcasts are so popular. Some people might actually enjoy these podcasts because of how they treat women. And I hope those people let go of their 4th grade girlfriend for leaving them for the kid that could do a backflip. Kind of like Duke Dennis. So if you watch my last video, you'll get insights of someone that wins the hearts of everyone's girlfriends.